Hey, it's Isabel from the Assisted Living Network, and I want to share with you one of the fastest ways to get into the REL business and start cash flowing ASAP. But I'll tell you here first, it's going to cost you. Let's dive in. In the United States right now, there are 76 million baby boomers. The number one dilemma for these baby boomers? Housing. That dilemma can be your opportunity. Welcome to the Assisted Living Network podcast, where you can discover how just one residential assisted living home could secure your financial future forever. This is one of the fastest and easiest ways to get into the REL industry, paying for speed, buying what someone else has spent years building, and leveraging your cash for saving you time. You can expect a timeline of around 3 to 6 months. And, you can't buy a business overnight. It does take some time to get all the paperwork and negotiations sorted out, but it's usually an emotional sale, considering that 80% of the industry is run by mom and pop DIY type owner operators. So you're likely buying from someone who may work in the home, maybe even live in the home, or have heavy emotional ties to the business. This is their baby. It's not just a business. They care, and they've probably been in the game for a long time now, maybe 6+ years, 10+ years. Now, if you are dealing with the other 20% of more hands-off professional owners, like how we show you how to do this, it may be a totally different interaction, much less emotional, much more focused on the numbers and the business and truly what they have built and getting that off of their hands for whatever reason. When buying a business, you're going to need to recast the numbers. Usually, they may not be sharing all of the correct information up front. They may be writing off a lot of things that you necessarily don't plan to write off. Extra cars, extra cell phones, extra food. All of these things need to be written out of the expenses. But you also need to look for missing expenses. Like in the case of a more mom and pop owner, if they're the administrator and their son is the caregiver and their husband is the landscaper and pool guy and handyman, well, if you don't plan to do those things yourself, now you're going to have to pay for someone to do them. So you'll want to add those expenses back in so you can really see what the numbers actually look like. Because they may be showing you that they're cash flowing on the numbers, and the numbers that they're using, they are cash flowing on those, right, in their mind. But when you run the business, it could be losing money or barely breaking even when you take it over because you're not going to be as hands-on in that way. And that's not going to work. Sometimes when you buy a business, you're buying based off of current cash flow. It looks good and you want it. And other times that in that area, you're thinking, this is how I could bring value, like adding more beds, raising rates, increasing the quality of the day-to-day, changing up staffing, whatever the case is. All of those things are important to consider. But I will warn you this, don't let someone else, especially the seller, tell you all the things that you could do to add value. Make sure you are the one identifying those things and coming in knowing your numbers and what you really think this business is worth. Don't think that just because this business exists, that they've done all the hard work of checking the market, doing the research, and doing an internal feasibility study. I mean, they may be selling because they didn't do those things, and it's hard to fill the beds because it's in the wrong location. And if you just see the deal and you didn't do your own research and you take them up on it and you believe their word, now you're having trouble because you didn't actually do the 5 steps that we share in the Residential Assisted Living Academy to determine if the home is good for residential assisted living. Ouch. Now you've wasted everyone's time and money and you have a bleeding business on your hands. Yikes. Here's something else important to know. The business is worth what someone is willing to pay. Sometimes a broker will talk to an RAL owner and give them an astronomical price that they get so excited about. And they think it's valid and true, and that they start dreaming of how they're going to spend this money, right? But it couldn't be further from the truth. Unfortunately, you are the market, and sometimes you're going to have to explain to the seller that this isn't a valid selling price and that you're willing to pay X amount of money, and this is why. You see, explaining to them the why can help so much. It doesn't always work, but sometimes after the carrot has been dangled, it's hard for them to see anything else but red with a lowball offer being presented. Some brokers will say these businesses have a $100,000 base value plus a multiple of 5 or 10 per bed. This is grossly out of range and not how these businesses are valued at all. So make sure you're being sensitive during these conversations and sharing what the true valuation method is, which is the real estate, the cost of the real estate, plus a multiple of the EBITDA. Usually it's 3 to 4 times the EBITDA. If I'm the buyer, I'm saying it's 2 to 3 times. If I'm the seller, I'm saying it's 4 to 5 times. But at the end of the day, it's worth what someone is willing to pay. If this purchase is going to get you in the game and get you cash flowing quickly, you may be okay with paying more at that top end of that EBITDA valuation because it accomplishes your goals without having to do all the extra work. But if it's a home that you're going to have to put in a lot of extra effort to get up to the level that you want it to operate at, then consider that in your offer. The work that you have to do to actually get it where you want it to go, you don't need to pay up front for that work that you got to put in later. You should be getting a discount because you have to put in the work. Something to note is that good REL businesses will probably never be publicly listed. I get about 5 to 10 residential assisted living homes in my inbox per day. Some empty, some full, some looking to sell. They're all across the country, and I put them in front of our inner circle members and help them evaluate the deals. But 99% of the time, if it's a public listing, it's not a good deal. And we have to send in a much lower offer than what they want. All the good deals are off market. And we can discuss how to find those and work on those type of deals in another episode. But at the end of the day, if you're looking to get into this industry quickly and you want to be cash flowing in 3 to 6 months, buying a residential assisted living home is a great way to do this. But it's important you know how to value these deals, how to look for added expenses, missing expenses. All of these things can save you from making costly mistakes. If you want to learn more about how to do all of this or have me and the REL Academy team look at a deal for you, give us a call today, 480-704-3065. I look forward to connecting, and don't forget to like and share this episode and follow us wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts. Thanks for listening to the Assisted Living Network.